There is something that happens very quietly to many men when they pass the age of 60. It doesn't happen suddenly. There is no loud warning, and at first, there are no obvious signs. One morning, you wake up and realize that your body no longer responds the way it used to. What once happened naturally now feels less predictable. Firmness is not the same as before. Your body's response becomes slower. The desire may still be there, but your body no longer seems to cooperate the way it once did. When this starts to happen, most men reach the same conclusion. My testosterone must be dropping. This is just part of getting older. Maybe there's nothing I can do to change it anymore. I understand why many people think this way, but after more than a decade studying vascular health and male physiology in older men, there is something very important I need to tell you. For most men over 60, the problem is not only about hormones. In many cases, the real cause is related to blood circulation. And the interesting thing is this: even if you are already in your 60s or 70s, blood circulation is something that can still be improved through lifestyle and nutrition. In today's video, I want to talk to you about a very familiar food that can have a meaningful impact on the body's blood vessels. It's not an expensive supplement. It's not a prescription medication. In fact, you have probably seen it many times in the supermarket without paying much attention to it. But before we talk about that food, I want you to understand something important about your body: size. If I told you that changes in erectile function in men over 60 could be one of the early warning signs of cardiovascular problems, what would you think? Many studies today suggest that these changes can sometimes appear years before serious heart symptoms develop. The reason is actually quite simple from a biological perspective. An erection is essentially a vascular process. When the brain sends stimulation signals to the pelvic area, the body releases a very important molecule called nitric oxide. This molecule helps blood vessels relax and widen, allowing more blood to flow into the area. When blood flow is strong, an erection occurs. But as we age, especially after the age of 55, the endothelial cells, which line the inside of our blood vessels, begin to function less efficiently. They produce less nitric oxide. Blood vessels become stiffer, and their response to nerve signals becomes slower. Because the blood vessels in this area are some of the smallest in the body, they are often the first to show signs of reduced circulation. That is why more and more doctors now view changes in erectile function as an early signal of vascular health. So what does this mean for you? It means that if you focus only on testosterone, take hormone supplements, or worry mainly about hormone levels, you may be overlooking a more important factor. The real goal should be improving vascular health, your body's ability to produce nitric oxide, the flexibility of your blood vessels, and maintaining steady blood flow. This is where the food we're talking about today becomes During my work, I have met many men who feel frustrated and lose confidence when their bodies begin to change. This reminds me of a man I once met in my clinic. He was 63 years old. I'll call him Michael. Michael told me that over the past year, he had started to notice that his body no longer responded the way it used to. It wasn't that he had lost his desire, but his body no longer responded as consistently as before. At first, he thought it was simply a drop in testosterone due to aging. But when we checked his overall health, the results showed that his testosterone levels were still within the normal range for his age. What stood out more were the signs related to vascular health. His blood circulation was no longer working as efficiently as it once had, so we started making a few simple changes to his daily habits. He began taking light walks every morning, he drank more water, and he improved his diet. One of the foods I recommended adding to his diet was something very simple: beets. After about 3 to 4 weeks, he came back and told me that his body had started responding a little better. It wasn't a dramatic overnight change, but his morning energy had improved, and his body's response had begun to feel more stable again. Michael's story is not a unique case, and that's one of the reasons I started paying closer attention to the role of this particular food. That food is beets. It may sound simple, but the mechanism of beets is actually quite remarkable when it comes to circulatory health, especially in older men. Among natural foods, beets are considered one of the richest sources of natural nitrates. When you eat nitrate-rich foods like beets, your body goes through a special metabolic process. The nitrates in food are first converted into nitrites, and then further converted into nitric oxide, an important signaling molecule for the vascular system. Nitric oxide plays a key role in helping blood vessels relax and widen. When blood vessels expand, blood can flow more easily and efficiently to different parts of the body. This is especially important for areas that contain smaller blood vessels and are more sensitive to changes in circulation. When blood flow improves, many physiological functions in the body can also work more steadily. One interesting aspect of this process is that the pathway that converts dietary nitrates into nitric oxide does not rely heavily on enzymes that tend to decline with age. This means that even as the body enters the aging process, this biological pathway can still function relatively effectively. For this reason, beets have become the subject of many studies related to cardiovascular health, circulation, and aging. Some research suggests that adding beets or beet juice to the diet may help improve the flexibility of blood vessels, support better blood circulation, and in some cases even help lower blood pressure. These benefits are largely linked to the body's increased production of nitric oxide. In addition to their natural nitrate content, beets also contain valuable antioxidant compounds, including betalains and polyphenols. These compounds are known for their ability to help reduce low-grade inflammation in the body. Over time, chronic inflammation can damage blood vessel walls and make the circulatory system less efficient. That's why adding antioxidant-rich foods to your diet may help support long-term vascular health. Another interesting aspect that many people overlook is the role of blood circulation in brain function. Some studies suggest that dietary nitrates may help improve blood flow to areas of the brain involved in processing nerve signals and coordinating the body's responses. This suggests that the effects of beets may not be limited to just one area of the body, but can help support the entire circulatory system and the physiological processes related to the body's responses over time. So how should you use beets to best support healthy circulation? For many people, the simplest and most practical approach is to add a small amount of beets to the daily diet. For example, about half a cup of cooked beets with breakfast can be a good option. Some people prefer drinking a small glass of beet juice, often diluted with water or mixed with other vegetables to make the taste milder and easier to enjoy. The key is not to consume a large amount all at once, but to maintain a consistent and moderate habit over time. Morning is often considered a good time to consume foods rich in natural nitrates, such as beets. After a night of rest, the body begins to restart its metabolic processes, and the circulatory system becomes more responsive to biological signals. At that time, dietary nitrates may be converted into nitric oxide more efficiently, helping blood vessels relax and supporting better blood flow throughout the day. However, beets should only be seen as one part of the bigger picture of vascular health. Daily lifestyle habits still play a very important role. For example, a light morning walk for about 20 to 30 minutes can help stimulate blood circulation and improve blood vessel flexibility. Drinking enough water throughout the day helps maintain smooth blood flow, while quality sleep at night allows the body to recover and rebalance many important biological processes. In addition, limiting smoking and reducing excessive alcohol consumption can help protect blood vessel walls from long-term damage. When these habits are combined with a diet rich in natural vegetables, the circulatory system can receive meaningful support over time. It is important to remember that positive changes in the body rarely happen overnight. In most cases, it takes about 3 to 4 weeks for the body to begin adapting to a new habit. However, the human vascular system has an impressive ability to adapt, even in people in their 60s or 70s. Many men find that when they consistently make small but steady improvements in their daily habits, their bodies gradually begin to respond in a more positive way. You don't always need complicated or expensive solutions. Sometimes the simplest and most consistent habits can create the most lasting improvements in health. If today's video gave you a new perspective or a simple starting point, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel so you don't miss future science-based content about men's health. I'd also love to know where you're watching this video from, so feel free to leave a comment below. I read many of your comments, and sometimes the stories shared there become the inspiration for future videos. I'm Dr. Emily Carter, and I believe that your body, at any age, deserves proper care and attention. Aging is a natural process that all of us go through, but that doesn't mean we have to accept a rapid decline in our health or lose our confidence. In many cases, small changes in lifestyle and nutrition can create meaningful improvements over time. The goal of this channel is not to promise miracle cures or instant solutions. Instead, I want to share knowledge based on scientific research, simple but practical information that you can apply in your everyday life. Sometimes improving your diet, moving a little more, getting enough sleep, and taking care of your circulatory system can already help your body function more effectively. If you're interested in topics such as vascular health, maintaining energy after 60, and supporting men's vitality as the years go by, make sure to stay tuned for the upcoming videos on this channel. I'm glad to be part of your journey toward better long-term health.